Howdy y'all, hope everybody's having a great day today. Silver Trade here again with your daily AMC and GameStop update. Today we're going to be talking about how on a couple exchanges it is 100% selling pressure and not a single buy order. But before we get into that, please remember none of this is financial advice. We are not financial advisors. We do this for entertainment purposes only. Back in 2020 of May of 2020, Michael Burry posted this. It took my brokers weeks to find my shares. I cannot imagine the shitstorm in settlements now. I mean, very exciting and interesting. Unusual Whales posted this today, that Boeing, the U.S. Justice Department is considering a deal with Boeing that would see the aerospace giant avoid criminal prosecution but may appoint a federal supervisor to oversee company progress on safety improvements. So basically they have, immunity to the law. And if you're curious of how Apple Intelligence works, there you go. But for the exciting stuff, so GameStop, pretty normal borrow rate. Nothing really too crazy going on here. I mean, it's pretty high, it's 0.7, but pretty normal when it comes to the exchanges. AMC bar rate, nothing too special. And when you look at the exchanges, nothing really too special either, nothing too crazy. But we know that there's a whole lot of weird stuff going on, so where could it be coming from? Well, if you look at XRT, GameStop is a part of this ETF right here. 550,000 short volume and 620,000 total volume. So 90.5% of all volume was short that day. Only just under 10% was actually people buying, and 90% was just straight sell orders. That's insane. When you look over here, pretty high numbers. I mean, really high. That 0.76 means that 76% of all the orders on this exchange were sells. 0.89 means 89% of all the sales on this exchange were short, selling the stock. So GameStop's part of this, and it has incredibly high short volume. Go over here, look at CVLC. It's the exact same story, but the short volume's not as high. And the bar rate's a little bit higher, almost at 9%. And when you look over here, it's a 1. So all of the volume on this exchange was selling. And all of the volume on this exchange was selling. All of the volume on this exchange was selling. And a little over half on this exchange. But that is a ton of ones to have. I mean, all of the volume was just straight selling, no buying on 3 out of the 4 markets. That's insane. And AMC is part of this one. SMMD, 25% bar rate. Ridiculous. If AMC had this, people would be freaking out. But AMC is part of this ticker right here. And it's the same thing. 100% of the volume was short. Right here. Pretty high too. 100% of the volume was short. And another 100% of the volume was short. I mean, that is absolutely insane. There wasn't one buy order on 3 out of the 4 markets. That's pretty crazy. But the short volume to total volume doesn't look too weird either. When you look at GAMR, same story. All of the volume, straight selling. And the bar rate is about 11%. Short volume on utility, nothing too special right there. But then the rate's at almost 13% to borrow. It's pretty high. 11.5% to borrow. Utility, which, GameStop was part of this one. And GameStop was also a part of this one as well. But we have 11.5% to borrow. And not a whole lot of data really. Not a whole lot of stuff here. But when you look at SPY, you can see a normal borrow rate would be about 0.33. And a normal short volume to total volume is a little under or over 50%. But it should never really be 90 to 10% like we're seeing on XRT, which, has GameStop in it. Like, see, it's all right under around 50%. That's the way it's normally is. It's exact same story on the Nasdaq, about 0.4% bar rate, about average. Nothing too high and special over here. It's got higher numbers, but there's not a single one. There's not a single one. You're not gonna find a single one in here because it's incredibly. It's weird that there even is a one, but look, you're not gonna find a single one. There's not a single one on there. But on most of the ETFs that are holding AMC or GameStop, 3 out of the 4 exchanges all have ones, which means they're all having selling pressure like crazy, absolutely crazy. We're having 70,000 calls expire in the money, but let's not forget back here. Let's see, on 5/17, right here, we had 140,000 calls expire in the money on this date, and as you can see, nothing too crazy came of it. So calls expiring in the money normally isn't something to get too excited about, but once again, this is not financial advice, and please don't take it that way. I really appreciate y'all watching this. Just remember, the short interest and everything is way through the roof, but not financial advice, just looking at numbers. Huge shout out to Unusual Whales. God bless you, and thank you.